Let's talk about. First off, how did your week go, Shay? I know you were doing the daily show, dude.
Yeah, so I was really enjoying doing I've been enjoying doing the audio show. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
I appreciate you guys all coming. It's I try to give you guys, I do research. I make sure I know exactly what I'm talking about, and then I try to give you a fresh take on whatever's happening with some breaking news. Hopefully, you're enjoying it.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. That's been where I'm getting my news from now on. I'm just I love that I can just turn on my own channel and tune in to Shane for my news.
Yeah, no, it's cool. Like the whole James Comey thing came out with the 8647, right? In the beach. And if you watch the whole video, you come to find out the real reason why James Comey did that, and a little bit of background, which nobody else is really talking about. So if you haven't had a chance to watch that video, grab it.
And yeah, I've been enjoying it. Okay, so let me just tell you guys what we're talking about today. I know some of you guys already heard, but we are talking about Immigration Survivor, the green card reality show. We're talking about the stock trade ban for politicians, Grok's white genocide glitch was really funny, child labor, and students and professors utilizing ChatGPT. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about, Shane?
Well, I mean, whatever we have time for, I'm getting such a good pick every day. I get to pick what I want to talk about. So I figure on Saturdays we should pick what you want to talk about.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. All right. Well, let's jump into it, shall we?
Let's go.
I want to talk about. I want to start with this reality show green card thing that Kristi Noem is part of.
And crazy news.
What I did was go ahead.
It's crazy news on the surface.
On the surface, it is, yeah. So I mocked up a little poster for what I think it would look like.
By the way, you really should be hired for this stuff. I mean, this is fantastic.
Yeah, this is a MAGA original. Outdream, outwork, outkill.
Original.
Green cards. It's set in Ellis Island.
Wait. What does it say on that thing? Outdream, outwork,
outkill. So basically the story, and we're gonna go over it right now. The story is this was the headline. Kristi Noem wants migrants to compete for citizenship on new reality show.
That is the headline, yes.
Yeah. This is from Daily Beast, by the way. So it's actually from Obsessed, but it's on the Daily Beast.
So the original story was broke by Daily Mail, just a heads up, which it can be argued how responsible they are with their news reporting.
Right.
But I think you're probably going to get all the good info. Do you want to give them a breakdown and we can go deeper?
Yeah, so Homeland Security official told the Daily Beast that the show is in the early stages of vetting through approval has not been given or denied. Basically, Kristi Noem reportedly wants U.S. citizenship process to play out in front of the cameras. The Department of Homeland Security has been working with writer and producer Rob Warshoff to pitch a reality show titled The American, where immigrants will compete in a string of challenges across the country for the honor of fast-tracking their way to U.S. citizenship. And that's the general gist. We'll read the rest of the article, but before we do, Shane, before I give you more information, what's your initial take on this story?
Well, if you don't know anything about it, the first thing I thought was, oh my God, this is incredibly tone deaf. like right now there's a huge battle in our country over deporting people who are here illegally, and there's a huge fight in the courts, and it's very, what's the right word, it's very divisive, very splitting,
ghoulish.
And it would be very strange to have a TV show highlighting this, in my opinion, and on face value.
But I would watch it.
Well, I would watch it 100%, and so would everybody else, which is probably why it's happening. For background, the producer, the guy who brought you Duck Dynasty, okay, is the guy who's trying to get this show running. So just so everybody knows, this was not, the brainstorm of Kristi Noem at Homeland Security.
Right.
Kristi Noem who in the original exclusive article by Daily Mail was named Ice Barbie. Okay, that's the name they give her. So obviously they're not on her side.
Right.
She's taken a lot of flack for being a good-looking lady. Okay, I don't know if you show a picture of Kristi Noem so people got a good look at what she looks like.
I can always show a picture of Kristi Noem.
She was a model, I think at one time or something like that. And she got into politics. And she ran her state of North Dakota. Was it North Dakota, South Dakota? One of the Dakotas. She ran her state well as governor. And people liked her. And she became a Trump confidant. And so she got the Homeland Security gig. And the Democrats have spent all of their time trying to make her look like she cares more about her looks and, kind of being like on a not on a reality TV show, but like being, and this is the world we live in, right? Our politicians want airtime. Well, Kristi Noem's getting it,
right?
Because of the way she looks, some of the things she says. So a reality TV show, they're just going to use this as more ammunition against her, in my opinion. What do you think?
Well, yeah, of course. But to be fair, leftists use any ammunition. Like they can look. The current administration can do good things, and that will be used as ammunition. They can drop drug prices for everyone, and it's somehow a bad thing. They can do a lot of things that are really good, and it's a bad thing. So the second there's like something questionable that comes up, of course the leftists are going to outright attack those people wholesale. That's the name of the game. That's the current, society we're living in is that leftists attack literally everything. President Trump cannot do anything correctly. Everything he does is either stupid. I love this. A lot of leftists do this thing where they call Donald Trump stupid and ridiculous, and then in the same exact article, in the same breath, they'll also call him a manipulative, dictator, fascist, controlling the strings of government for his own benefit. Which one is it? Is he a mastermind, fascist dictator, or is he stupid? Like, pick a lane, bro.
Well, it depends on like how they want to go against him that day. You're right. There's no position.
Yeah. What gun are they using? What ammunition are they using that day? I'm just so tired. Like I have friends of mine who are leftists, and I constantly have to ask them a question. You can't both call him stupid and a criminal mastermind. You can't be in the same breath. That's an oxymoron, and it makes you look stupid when you do a live stream yesterday that calls him stupid, and a live stream today that calls him a mastermind fascist. Pick a lane, and I think it's disingenuous. So I do think leftists are disingenuous about hardcore pundit leftists are disingenuous at least 80% of the time, because they're either looking for clicks from their brain dead, brainwashed audience, right? Or they actually believe that they're living in some dystopia, the worst possible future outcome. They're living in the worst possible timeline, and all their friends are going to be forced to have babies and or be deported and murdered by thugs in unmarked vans. Shut the fuck up. You're living in Los Angeles with all the possible benefits of this of our society, of our civilization, and you're not even from here, dude. You're from Canada. Shut up. Sorry. No, I'm just so tired of how unbelievably disingenuous these people are. They're so disingenuous. Well, and they're either lying or they're brain dead.
Well, or they just want to reconfirm their own beliefs. They're living in their own bubble, and they don't stop to consider the ram. Here's the one thing that drives me most crazy about these people, and we're going to get back into this. By the way, she was South Dakota. Thank you, Anthony Mark. I appreciate that. Doug Burgum was North Dakota. They are both
right
in Trump's circle. But here's the thing. What drives me crazy is all these people who comment on it. They don't watch Trump's interviews. Okay, this is what drives me crazy, because if you were to watch his interviews, even if you disagree with him, you're going to get information in there that's going to make you go, oh, okay, well, I didn't know I didn't know he thought that, because you always get these little nuggets. Yes, he repeats himself a lot. Yes, he says weird things.
Right.
Like, I don't know why yesterday he said to the Saudi people that our eggs are down 98%.
Yeah,
they're not, Don. They're not.
That's
okay,
that's just untrue. Like,
it just
and that's
reminds
not,
us.
and you're right, because that's not even like an exaggeration. That's just not true.
It's the most extreme exaggeration possible.
Maybe it's down 98% when you use like 13 coupons at a Costco flash sale on Thursday afternoon. I mean, maybe
you can get there with that. I mean, you got literally a guy selling them outside, with dope.
They're down 98% because like the organic guy that has chickens in his backyard gave a bunch away for free. And if you grade it on a bell curve on an average, then they're down 98%.
Yeah. So it drives me crazy that he gives them this ammunition. Sometimes I'm just like, why do you give him this ammunition?
Right.
But the thing is when you have a president who gives daily interviews, sometimes 2 or 3, talking, where he talks to everybody, you're going to get a lot of ammunition, as opposed to a president who almost never spoke. Right. And that's Biden, who almost never spoke. When he rarely did, it was edited down.
It was way
Even
edited
now
down.
He's not president, they're editing down his stuff and releasing it. A 6-hour interview gets 5 minutes of airtime, carefully edited.
That's crazy.
Guess who else wasn't answering questions? The word salad wine mom, right? When she was running against Trump, she would never give any views either. So listen,
they purposely kept Kamala and Biden away from the camera because everything they said could be hit with and easily. Like, it didn't take an educated wordsmith to deal with them. Like everything they said made no sense. It was literally just gobbledygook nonsense.
Yeah, so, with Trump, he's going to say things that he's going to repeat himself a lot. It drive me crazy. But if you just listen to everything, you're going to get the information. It's not going to sound nearly as crazy as people are making it sound online. So just listen and then decide for yourself. That's what I would say. I mean, there's things I wish he would not say, but, for the most part, he's very genuine. He's like telling you exactly what he thinks to his own detriment, I would say, politically, much of the time.
Yeah, I agree.
We've gotten far off the story. Where do you?
Yeah, well, someone asked, and we're gonna go back to it, but someone asked me, why don't you criticize, Trump the way you criticize Biden? I'm like, because I genuinely believe that Trump, most of the time, has our best, has the best notions. Like, he's trying to do what he believes is the right thing for the people. And meanwhile, I had a lot of time with Biden and others where it was just pure corruption. So it was hard. Even when they did something right, you had to ask yourself, well, what's the angle? Well,
Biden didn't give us enough information to judge him, guys.
That's true.
That's the problem. Like, he didn't, and that was their goal. Like, give us I think if he would have given us enough information, spoke to us more, it would have been very easy to point out what the issues were.
But then you would have seen that he's brain dead half the day.
Well, right. I gave him credit for lowering bank fees. That was a big deal.
Yes.
And I guess he was able to get some Medicare pricing on insulin for a very select low number of people. But beyond that, I can't think of anything positive that occurred under his watch. And really, was he running the government? But with Trump, no. I see him actively, transparently, too transparently sometimes, laying out exactly what he's trying to accomplish.
Yeah, some of these meetings should be taking place behind closed doors.
Yeah, right.
While we enjoy watching it, bro, we shouldn't see your negotiations with Zelensky. Right. Honestly,
I can't help but get behind what he's trying to do. I don't like that he wants this plane from Qatar. I think it's dumb. Right. I think it's unnecessary and it gives too much ammunition. I don't like when he says that he's going to take over Greenland by force if he has to. It's like, he's never going to do that. Okay. Right. He's only saying it because he thinks it's going to scare them into giving them to us. Okay. And C, it's just dumb. Don't say stuff like that. That's not what America does.
But then there's the flip side of that. how much of this is performative because he's trying to get a good deal behind closed doors.
You don't fucking say you're going to take over another country by force when it's
you can't.
Greenland.
You can
Denmark.
if you're in the middle of negotiation, you're trying to throw people off. That's what he does. I'm going to rename the Gulf of Mexico to Gulf of America. Like, yeah, there's stuff happening behind the scenes that we can't see, and he utilizes the media as a weapon.
Well, a lot of it is, yes, you're 100% right, but a lot of it is symbolic for him.
Right.
Like, he feels like if he can symbolically change America, then America will change in the direction he wants it to go. But, you know, there's hypocrisy with him. But as much as there is some hypocrisy with him, there's a whole bunch more positive things he's trying to accomplish. It's overwhelming how many things he's trying to change. And the problem is, you want to blame somebody? Blame Congress. Those are the people who can't get shit done. Our entire Constitution is revolved around our Congress, our Senate and our House of Representatives accomplishing things, passing laws. The president just vetoes them. Okay, these executive orders were created because Congress doesn't do their job. Okay, so the reason why Trump has to be the way he is because they can't get shit passed.
Yeah,
just like they couldn't pass this bill, the big beautiful bill that just came out. So, anyways, we can do this all day long.
So back to this immigration thing. We're gonna wrap it up. Citing a copy of Worship's 35 program pitch, the Daily Mail reported that the Canadian-born producer aims to celebrate what it means to be American and have a national conversation about what it means to be American through the eyes of people who want it most. Worship is best known for producing the A&E reality show Duck Dynasty. Homeland Security Secretary Tricia McLaughlin told Daily Beast that the show's concept is under consideration, though she denied that Noem had reviewed the pitch in question. The concept is in the very beginning stages of the vetting process, and approval has not been given or denied. And here's a quote from her. The Department of Homeland Security receives hundreds of television shows pitches a year. Each proposal undergoes a thorough vetting process prior to denial or approval. So listen, there's not much else to say about this, but I will say
there's a lot to say actually.
Well,
go ahead.
I mean, in the article. I'm sorry, in the article.
Oh, in the article, yes, yeah.
They don't really go into it. They do talk about how they want to get a famous naturalized American to play like the Jeff Prost, you know,
yeah.
The main guy in Survivor is Jeff Prost. He's the guy who's like, your torch has been snuffed out. It's time to go home. You've been voted off the island, right? He's that guy. He's the host. Well, they want to get someone like Ryan Reynolds, who's a Canadian and naturalized American, or Colombian Sofia Vergara, which I would watch do anything.
That would be great. I think she'd be perfect by that.
Yeah. Basically to be the Jeff Probst of this reality show. And the problem is, Sofia Vergara is never going to do this. Well, she will never do this job. She won't.
I doubt it.
Yeah. And Ryan Reynolds, absolutely not. He has so many problems right now. That dude's not gonna.
He can't handle one more thing, right?
Yeah, he's not even gonna entertain it. So what I want to finish with the article is, it's very far away from being made. However, it's not 100% not going to happen. There is a small possibility. If we ever actually do see something like this on TV screens, it'll be probably a completely different, more toned down version of this original pitch, because this is, in my opinion, like you said, a little tone deaf and ghoulish, although I would watch the shit out of it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if you want eyeballs on a TV set, it's a great idea. But if you're an administration trying to, they haven't done a good job of putting out the word that, look, 1 million people a year become legally come into our country, and a portion of those become citizens of our country. Like, they don't do a good enough job focusing on that fact. We're focused on the 10 to 20 million people who came here illegally in the last 4 years and trying to get them out of our country. And I just don't think there's enough verbiage on that. So what happens is they kind of become known as, you know, the administration of anti-immigrants.
Right.
Okay. And then it doesn't help when you bring in a bunch of, bring in 50 or 60 white Afrikaners saying that they're undergoing some sort of a genocide in South Africa.
I mean, but they are.
Right. Well, they're not. No, they're not.
Well, they are. They are.
They're not.
Your information's flawed. They are.
I've looked very deeply.
I've also looked very deeply in it. I think that you're seeing the wrong side of this.
You need to look at what genocide means.
Okay, maybe the word definition of genocide is not being used correctly, right, but there are white people that own farms that are being taken and killed, and their farms being taken over and then closed because they can't run them, and that's happened a dozen times in the last 20 years.
Okay, right.
So that's not genocide, but that's happening.
But it's not okay. I just want to be clear, though. It's not a genocide, so it's being ramped up as being something it's not necessarily.
It might not be a genocide, but it's certainly happening, and there is a racial tone to it because they're white colonizers.
But you just said it was a genocide. You should not say that.
So I guess the wrong word is genocide.
Right. There is racism occurring,
but there is racism occurring where they're killing white people and taking their farms and their property.
Okay, and there is no evidence that the government, and definitely the government, is not killing.
Well, the headliner for the government over there has speeches where he says those exact words: "Take back our country from these white colonizers and kill their families."
No,
there's literal speeches. So
it's not a speech; it's a song. Okay, that they sing.
No, there's speeches that he does in public during his campaign.
It's a song. So anyways, listen, we can argue about this all you want. It's wrong. I don't agree.
Yeah, it's 100% wrong. Right.
I don't agree with how it's happening, but what I'm trying to tell you is that you don't publicize bringing 60 white people into the country. It's just bad optics is what I'm trying to say.
Well, yeah, you publicize that, and then you also publicized loading up a bunch of Venezuelans on a jumbo jet. And then Kristi Noem is down there in the prison with her $50,000 watch. She's like,
"It's a problem.
This is great, guys. Oh my God." It's really bad optics. Like you are making yourself look so bad. And I think what they want to look like is pro-American. But what they're looking like is anti-Mexican, essentially.
Or anti-brown people.
Anti-brown people in general.
Not white people.
You're trying to look pro-American. And in the process, you're looking anti-everything but white people.
Trump specifically said, I don't care if they're white, they're black, I don't care what color they are, if they're having problems in their country, and if this genocide is occurring, then I'm going to bring them here. That's what he said. Now he hasn't demonstrated that, but that's what he said.
Right, and you have to understand, he's probably getting information from them where it's like and this is happening. They are killing families and taking their farms. That's happening, and it's wrong.
Who is doing that? Well, not the government.
Well, it's people, not the government.
It's other people from South Africa, black people,
not the government. But the government's not trying to stop it, but it's not the government.
Okay, check this out. There were 20 farm attacks out of 9,000 last year deaths. So let me tell you something. There is definitely two sides to this, and there is a weight being given one way or the other. The government over there is not doing well because they're doing. Now, I didn't know we were going to talk about this, but
I didn't think we were going to have one either.
They're doing reverse racism, just like they're trying to implement in our country.
Right.
Look, we need to hire more black people because we don't have enough black people working these jobs. They're doing the same thing because until the apartheid was around for a long time, until 30 years ago, white people they thought of black people as their workers. Okay. Until about 30 years ago. And so what they're trying to do is balance it out. I don't know if that's the way to do it, but 80% of the country is black, like 80%. And only 4% is actually white Afrikaners, which are the people who've been there since the 1700s.
Afrikaners.
Afrikaners. What did I say? Afrikaners?
No. I actually learned that there's a difference between Africans and Afrikaners.
Yes, Afrikaners are white people who've been there since the 1700s.
Well, they go, how long do you have to be? And that's a question. I was looking at the Matt Walsh thing where he accidentally retweeted a swastika.
No. Oh, okay. Yeah.
The one with the ladies in the white dresses, and if you zoom out, it's a swastika. Well, he said, even though that's all anyone's talking about is the stupid swastika thing. What he said is actually correct. How long do people have to be in a land before they're no longer white colonizers?
Well, they were white colonizers for about 300 years. And then the last 30 years, they've not been.
So how long does someone have to live somewhere before they're considered native? Because technically, no one is native to anything, except for Africa.
Well, I mean, yes, I would say people from Africa are definitely native to Africa. But here's the thing, like they are colonizers, just like we colonize, or I don't even know if my family did, but white people colonized America, right? So they are always going to be colonizers.
I mean, just like Aztec people came up into the Americas and took out a bunch of tribes and became different tribes, they were also colonizer.
True.
Just like when Mongols left Mongolia and a bunch of nations popped up, like when we're in Peru and different, they were also colonizers. But do you call them colonizers now? How long does someone have to live somewhere before they're natives?
They're not there anymore. What I'm saying is the people who live in South Africa, they belong there. Like their families have been there since the 1700s. And regardless of how it was, that's history. We aren't going to judge history for history's sake. Nowadays, they have to have a government that's fair and equal. One of the things that is not fair and equal is that not very many black people have farms, because all the white people had farms because they were in charge of everything. So now it's passed down from white family to white family. And the government's problem with that is we need more black farmers. So they're implementing laws that are making it harder for the white people, which we can argue is reverse racism. Okay.
Bro. It's just racism.
Well, okay, you're right. It is just racism, but for their country, it was racism one way. See, our country had this nice little civil rights era where things changed. From here, in South Africa, it was a flip. It happened like that. So it went from white people being in charge to the black people being in charge. Boom. Yeah. It's a totally different situation. Violently. So you've got Elon Musk, and this is what I think happened with Trump. Okay, you've got Elon, who's from South Africa. He listens to these stories. You know, Elon's a pretty good guy, and he has a good head on his shoulders, but he's influenced by his home country. And I'm sure he's telling Trump these stories. And so Trump is just running with it on this. But the problem is it's bad optics. And until you let some people from the Sudan come in and we advertise that, or we let some people from some other nation where they're being, that's not white, you will not demonstrate that you are equal opportunity bringer in of people from other
bringer in. Look. The only way someone should get citizenship in this country, regardless of their skin color, gender, sexuality, anything that identifies them, period, it should be on a case-by-case basis. They should make their case. They go through the proper channels. You go through the proper channels and go, look, my family is being threatened by a bunch of people to take my farm and to kill us. We would like asylum here. And then there should be caseworkers, right, that decide whether or not they get asylum while their green card is being discussed.
That's what's supposed to happen.
That should be for anyone, anywhere. No one should just walk across and then you get a blanket court date for 2 million people that may or may not show up.
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah, you're right. And that's part of the problem. We have port of entries for a reason. You come there, you come to the port of entry, or you go through your embassy. If you come across the border illegally, they should round up those people and just take them right back across and be like, sorry, see ya. Those people should not have the ability to go through the court system and tie it up. But that's exactly what Democrats wanted. There's a reason why 20 million people came through the border in 4 years. They wanted as many people to come through. And now they're using the judicial argument that they have to have their day in court, right? And that's where the trouble comes in, because we have constitutional privileges for people that it's not determined by, at least the forefathers didn't say, it's the inalienable rights of all people, not just citizens of this country. So now the courts are taking it and running with it, and it's causing a bit of a problem. So, yeah, I'm not sure where we're going with that, but we should be back.
Yeah, Red J did say they did come in. They're here illegally. He seems to know a lot about the Afghanistan stuff. Hit us up in the comment section. Let us know more about that, Red J. All right. I don't know how we got on. Immigration always takes us.
It's such a hot topic, you know. There are some things about this story we should probably share.
Just so everyone know, we do not care what color, race, sexuality, religious identity. We don't care what you are. As long as you're civil and you come with pragmatic, realistic ideas of how the world works, we're willing to have a conversation with you. That's how it is.
Yeah.
You know, and if our ideas are wrong, like straight up, if you think that what we're saying is incorrect and we have faulty data, please bring it up. Hit the chat, hit the comment section, hit us on Twitter. Let us know what our faulty data is and why we should have a different point of view. Completely fine. We try to express our opinions devoid, using the facts that are devoid of emotion, and then apply our own emotion to it after the fact. We are trying to do what most journalists should be doing already, and they don't. Which is why so many shows on YouTube are so popular, because you're getting genuine opinions from people that are realistically approaching the information from a pragmatic, logical perspective, and then giving their honest and genuine takes, which is what you're not getting on the media, which is why YouTube gets about 600,000 times more views than CNN.
Well said. But the last couple things on this story really quick is that, so what would happen with these immigrants, these potential people, is they would already have to be in the process to becoming a citizen. So people who are here legally in our country, this is who would be in the game show. Mm-hmm. And they would be already on the road. So whoever lost wouldn't be deported. That's not what we're talking about here. Okay. They wouldn't be deported. But the person who won the show would end up on the steps of the Capitol, and you'd have someone from the judiciary there to swear them in and as a citizen for their win. Which the other problem I have with that is, yes, being a citizen of our country is amazing.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know
awesome. I love it.
I don't know if the optics of putting them through such turmoil to become a citizen is what you want people to be thinking of as becoming a citizen. I mean, if you come here and you're loyal and you work hard, I guess that's one thing, but I don't know, making them run logs in Minnesota, making them learn. It's funny because one of the things is I think they're going to learn history in some area. They got to learn history or something. So it's like a weird actual citizenship test that takes you across the country.
I mean, you don't even have to get the government involved. You can do this show, and just their prize is $100,000 and the best immigration lawyer on the planet, and it'll.
I'm the best immigration.
I mean,
you're right.
If you want to if you want to become a citizen, and you haven't committed any crimes, it's not actually that hard. It's just expensive. So do the show. Don't include the government, and just your prize is here's $100,000, and we're gonna cover your legal fees, and we'll get you in.
Yeah, I'm surprised somebody hasn't already tried to do it. Netflix will probably jump all over this.
Yeah.
The fact that I think what the story is, the fact that Homeland Security is being pitched the idea for the story and they're somehow getting involved with it, I think it's just very tough to swallow on this one.
Right.
I just feel like it's bad timing to do this. And I would say, listen, we have enough divisiveness. And listen, no matter what a great job Trump is doing, there's so many forces on the left that are trying to destroy him and trying to make whatever he's saying to come out to look bad, that, listen, the polling is slowly pushing towards all those people who were in the middle that voted to him are starting to get cold feet with the tariffs and everything happening. And all of a sudden now, a lot of the narrative and a lot of what is being said, people are fickle. People change their minds quickly.
Right. Okay.
So they need to make sure they stay. They got to play a little bit of politics. I hate politics, but you got to play a little bit of politics.
Yeah, unfortunately,
are playing politics all the time.
Yeah, they never turn it off.
They don't sleep.
You're right.
Vampires.
I hate politics, and I love the fact that they're just doing what they got to do. But you're right, because, and this is why you have to play politics, because large groups of people are stupid, and
Fair.
And that's just a fact. So even if the individuals that voted for them are smart, pragmatic, realistic individuals who pay attention, the second you group that into a large group, they become real dumb. And they're not paying attention. All they see is headlines. They see the constant, nonstop, relentless barrage of headlines, like I said, either calling Trump stupid or calling him Hitler. One of the two. So you see that nonstop, and even if you voted for him, and you don't really have time to get into it because you have a job and you have a family and you got a wife or a husband, you got things going on. You don't got time to click on that link and read the whole article. You just see that your friend Brenda, who you trust, shared an article about how Trump is deporting small children that are citizens, and they're rounding up entire families only because they're brown and he doesn't like brown people. And you see that your friend Brenda is sharing this relentless, nonstop barrage of bullshit, and you don't have time to get into it, but you trust Brenda, and now you start to think that Trump is rounding up all Mexicans and sending them to Africa, even though they're not from Africa, and he's making them wear chains, and he's putting babies in cages, because you don't have time to look into it. Well, I gotta say, before you form stupid opinions, you should click the link and read the whole thing, please.
Yeah. Or just don't forward your social media on if you don't know.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Or stay off Facebook, Brenda.
It's ugly. Poor Brenda. She doesn't even know.
Brenda. She doesn't know. She's just stupid. She's stupid.
Yeah. So anyways, I mean, listen, I've been a little more critical recently just with the whole, some of the things that I'm so fully supportive of Trump and everything he's trying to accomplish. He's the guy.
Yeah.
Okay. Regardless, he's the guy. Give him time to cook.
Yeah. Let him cook, bro. Let him cook.
Listen, I also said during his first 4 years, okay, that I wish he would shut up and go to work. So I did say that.
And you said that, and now he's going to work, and now you're like, okay, you need to play a little more politics.
I'm doing it again. No, I'm saying go to work. Just kind of shut up a little bit.
But you can't both ask for extreme transparency and work. I mean, he's moving faster in the first 100 days than any other president in history that I don't.
You're right. He's done more in the first 100 days, but I can ask for extreme transparency and just don't say things that are obviously not good to say.
Yeah, you're asking for too much from Trump, dude.
Just skip a little bit of you know what? I wish Trump could take the high road on certain things. I know he doesn't have.
You want to change him fundamentally as a person.
I know. I'm like, you know what I am? I'm like a bad girlfriend. Like I fell in love with this guy. Yeah. And now, listen, I can change him.
I really love you, but can you, stop doing all the things that makes you the person you are? And
right, because he wouldn't be doing these things if he wasn't saying stupid shit sometimes.
Right, you're totally right.
Saying stupid shit is what got him here.
I love that you're like the bad girlfriend. Like, I really enjoyed you when we were dating, but now that we're married, we need to make some changes.
Yes.
I don't like the way you dress, sound, act, look, or talk. Can we change all that?
I'm the problem.
I'm the problem. Well, and see, I'm the problem too, because I'm sort of like Brenda. We're like, I don't have the resources or the bandwidth to constantly be paying attention to politics. I just don't, man. I got so much going on in my life. People here watching, they got so much going on. You don't have time for this nonstop to make sure that you're not being lied to. And the system is constantly trying to sway you. Whether it's the algorithm, the media, your NPC friends, your soulless NPC friends, they're constantly trying to get you on their side. Like, they're trying to sway you so they can take over your mind. And the only way you protect yourself is by paying attention. And it's very difficult to pay attention when you have all these other distractions that are necessary for living, like raising your kids and like going to work. These are important. It's easier to be like, we might go back to this, dude. We might go back to this thing where we go, hey, you know what? I don't talk about politics. You know, like a friend posts something online. Sorry, bro, I got blocked you. I don't want to deal with this politics. Not that I did agree or disagree with you. I just don't want to deal with it. And I think there are some people that are getting to that point where they're like, I don't.
Well, what I would say to those people, like, for example, if you don't have time to know something about it, then just don't have an opinion.
Right.
It's okay to say, I don't know. It's like almost like a full-time job lately trying to do these shows every day for our show, because I got to know so much, because I want to be very careful that I'm not in some sort of an echo chamber, and that I'm only getting one side of the information. It's hard, so I can only imagine regular people. So what I would just say is, don't be so aggressive on social media when you don't know shit.
When you don't know anything.
There's so many people out there who are so certain that
Right.
they are aware and know what's going on. And when they post something, I look at it and go, did you even watch the presser?
Bro, yeah. One of my favorite things is to watch your Twitter account because so Shane has purposely curated an algorithm that is almost solely leftist insane people.
Right. That's who I'm engaging.
Because he started talking to leftists and actually I guess liberals, I'm not sure, but crazy people. He started talking.
Liberals are usually pretty cool. It's the left is somewhere, the extreme left.
The extreme left. So he started talking to the extreme left and people that are very uneducated and have no idea what they're talking about, but have too many followers because of maybe the way they look or because maybe they were on a TV show at some point or something. And so he started talking to them, and now his algorithm is almost solely fed by these extreme leftists. And if you follow Shane's activity on Twitter,
at the BRANE Show,
at the BRANE Show, I'll put it on the screen, at the BRANE Show, you would notice exactly what he just said. The people that he is talking to will literally post a video and comment about said specifics in the video. And nothing that actually that they say actually happens in the video, and it's obvious they didn't watch it, and it's obvious they just reposted with an opinion that was based on an opinion that was based on an opinion that was based on a repost that was based on an opinion that was based on a CNN article that some guy named Jim Belushi put out at 3 a.m. and has no idea what he's talking about after too many Ambients and a glass of wine.
Welcome to social media.
Jesus, here's the Twitter account. This is the one. I mean, Shane primarily uses it. It's at BRANE Show. At BRANE Show. Trust me, it's worth it. Shane gives a lot of leftists the business, and it's.
I'm just trying to reason with people a little bit. I know I'm wasting my breath. I'm sure I am, but I'm trying to give them some facts. And I'm probably spending way too much time doing it. But what ends up happening is I end up kind of highlighting or illuminating their wrong way of thinking, you know, and it's very one-sided. And yeah, I could use some help with some people backing me up on that.
Dude, one of the funniest things is I forgot what it was exactly, but it was something about someone's freak out or something, and like, look at this person freaking out, and like you watch the video and no one freaks out at any point in the video.
It's like I'm still waiting for the freak out.
Shane's like, I'm still waiting for the freak out, and everyone's like, are you not watching the video? You're like,
I watched the video.
Did you watch the video? Because everyone is talking very calm and collected, and there's a slight disagreement at best. You're like, what are you smoking? And you have these people that are like, I hate you because you have a different opinion on me. Like they're just freaking out like nonstop over things that they're clearly not watching, you know? Oh, it drives me nuts. I did want to end this topic with this clip from The Running Man. And
speaking of dangerous games.
And I'm not going to play it very long, but
you look pissed, Ben.
Hold up. Peak Arnold Schwarzenegger, right?
Yeah.
Right. All he had to do, just note, he is not talking in this scene right now. He just needs to look at you like he's pissed.
Yeah, and he's an immigrant.
And it works. And he's an immigrant.
Cool. At this time, he was, I don't even know, he wasn't a citizen yet. He was
from Austria, right?
Austria, yeah.
Believe me, you got every right to be. But hey, will you just let me explain? This is television. That's all it is. It's nothing to do with people. It's to do with the ratings.
By the way, perfect person to host the American show. Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh my God, he might do it.
He might do it. Remember, he was governor for a little bit, right?
Oh yeah. He was a Republican governor.
Yeah, I don't agree with half of what he says. We don't actually share the same political beliefs. Me and old Arnold. But I gotta be honest, he was actually a pretty good governor of California.
He did a good job in California.
He did a good job, dude. He got the job done, and then he accomplished what he wanted to accomplish, and then he split. Unlike other governors who will stay here, way past their welcome and never actually do anything,
Yeah, I miss Richard Dawson, by the way, the host of the Running Man. Of course, he was the Family Feud host for years, where he'd kiss all the women.
That's right. That's right.
Whether they liked it or not. You were getting a kiss from Richard Dawson. They usually liked it.
It's so inappropriate. Oops.
To where? For Christ's sake, Ben, don't you understand? Americans love television.
We do.
They wean their kids on it. Listen, they love game shows. They love wrestling. They love sports, violence.
It's true.
So what do
All of that's true, by the way.
And that's why we will watch this show.
Yeah, we won't.
If it comes out,
We'll-
Survivor Immigration.
We won't just watch it. We'll review it.
It would be a phenomenon on television. I'm telling you, everyone would watch it.
Yeah.
It would happen.
It'd be huge.
Yeah.
we do? We give them what they want. We're number one, Ben. That's all that counts. Believe me, I've been in the business 30 years.
And I'm trying to figure out where Trump gets some of his like the way he speaks. Because the older guys I've seen that were like game show hosts and like real prominent in the 80s, they say some of the same stuff. They say, "Believe me, this is huge." Like they have the same like I guess you and I are from Southern California, so I say bro a lot and dude.
Yeah.
Like he's from that era in New York, and a lot of people speak that way, and he just became the most famous of those people.
Well, and Trump's also a character. So
Right.
just so you know, like he's playing up who he is.
Oh,
Like,
he is.
He's himself times 10. If you listen to the Bill Maher, which most people didn't.
They didn't.
But with the Bill Maher dinner, he's like, who the fuck's this guy?
Right.
Like, this isn't the guy on TV.
Bill Maher was like, I know everyone's not going to hear this, but he's a good guy. Or whatever he said. Like, he basically had a really good time with Trump, and he's like, where is this person on television?
Yeah.
Like, this is not the person we see every day.
He said he couldn't have had those conversations with Obama and Clinton, whom he adores. That he could only have those conversations with Trump. I thought that was very interesting. And listen, it just lets you in. I don't know why he's so over the top.
Bombay.
Yeah, he is.
He
Thinks
is.
to get some votes, I think.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, I haven't been in show business as long as you have, Killian. But I'm a quick learner. So I'm going to give the audience what I think they want.
All right, that's as much as we can show you because of copyright claim.
Oh yeah, it's probably already going to happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the first thing we thought of when we saw this immigration games is The Running Man. And by the way, The Running Man is coming out. So The Running Man was in a novel by Stephen King, originally written by Stephen King, and this movie has absolutely no relation to the Stephen King novel. They pretty much wrote a completely different story, right? So they actually have a movie coming out later this year that's really going to be based on Stephen King's book or a short story, novella, and I think it's actually going to be really good. I'm looking forward to it.
All right, we got some super chats. I'm gonna go backwards here from Chappie members. Member for 8 months. Thank you, Chappie, my dude. He said, to be fair, every Dave Rubin video title goes like TV host silenced by XYZ. Gets truth bomb. That's true. That's so true.
I do like watching Dave Rubin though, because
I
it's
can't watch
interesting.
him anymore.
You know what I like about Dave Rubin, and what I like about a lot of the people who were Democrats before? I like listening to their justification for now being on the right. You know, I like listening to people who are just left center a little bit and why they're now a little more right. So that's why I listen to him.
I don't know. I can't get behind Dave Rubin, man. The guy bothers me. I can't explain it. He's repetitive, boring. His topics are almost always the same. And what I hate most is that he leans into the grift. Like, look, every show doesn't have to be you talking about bad leftists and George Soros or whatever. Like, he really leans into what he thinks the MAGA right is going to care about. And it's disingenuous.
I didn't see it that way.
And I started watching him a long time ago. And I gotta say, there isn't much difference between the first episode I watched and the last episode he probably uploaded, other than a person he's talking to. I think he's disingenuous, and I think he's a grifter. And when it becomes obvious, it bothers me. Go ahead, sorry.
So it's interesting that you put it out that way. I always looked at him as talking about the things that he hated and which is why he left. So I didn't really see it as trying to pander to MAGA. I looked at it as him genuinely being upset. And you know how Dave Rubin ended up becoming moving to the right?
Yeah, he was on the Young Turks.
Trump rally.
Right.
He went to a
that's
Trump
what he
rally
said. That's what he says, yes.
Well, do you think he's not?
I think that him getting fired from the Young Turks might have had something to do with it, dude.
Well, that was
I think maybe some of his opinions are real, but some of his opinions are also manufactured. And what happens is the second you start to believe that about something, the second I believe that a portion of your opinions are manufactured is the moment I can no longer trust you as a talking head.
I agree with that. Yeah. I guess it's just hard to hold the grift for that long if you're going to do it, I guess.
Now, if you're making money, it's a job.
It's a job.
It's a job. If you're making money, it's a job. Why not?
It's hard to lie to yourself every day. It's hard to do that. It's hard to be passionate about your lies.
It's hard for you, Shane. That's why you don't do it. I don't think it's hard for other people.
All right, that's fair.
And if you go back and watch him on the Young Turks, he has a lot of the same ideas he already had. The only difference is they're now catered toward the MAGA crowd. It's the same, same vibe.
He did say he didn't move. They left me. So I don't know.
I know. A lot of people say that. I didn't leave the left. They left me. I know. Yeah, I get it, bro.
Is that not a good line anymore? That's what Bill Maher says.
I mean, it's just.
You really don't like Dave Rubin, dude.
No, I think he's a grifter, bro. I think he's a grifter. And here's the deal. I used to like him.
How do you feel about Cenk?
I think Cenk has not changed his opinion in the 15 years that I've watched Cenk.
Even though he's moving a bit more to the right a little bit?
He is moving a little more to the right, but if you look, he hasn't changed his opinion. His opinion, his statements are still the same as they were 15 years ago. This guy is still screaming at the top of his lungs about the same stuff. What's the difference? I'll tell you the difference. Now his opinions are starting to be different than the hardcore left.
Yes.
And so because his opinions are starting to drift away from the hard left, he's starting to look more and more right. Cenk, here's the deal. I don't like Cenk. I don't agree with 75% of what he says.
Question. I wanted to hear what you had to say about Cenk because that would have told me everything about Dave Rubin, and you passed the test. Congratulations.
Oh.
Cenk is a little despicable. So
yeah, I don't like Cenk at all. But his opinions haven't changed. I don't think Cenk's a grifter. I think he's just a number.
He's picked some right things to cherry pick sometimes.
He's sometimes on Twitter and stuff. I'm not a big fan of anything the Young Turks do, but I'll give them the credit that they've stood their ground, whether it was the right or the left that they were talking about and who was attacking them, regardless of who it was. They're consistent. Even if I disagree with them, they're consistent.
At least I trust that. Yeah. I mean, the fact, if you can't criticize your own side even a little bit, there's something wrong with you because everybody has something wrong with them. Everybody.
Yeah.
Nobody's perfect. So if you can't criticize, if you find yourself on the left or the right and you find you can't criticize your politicians, you need to rethink your position.
I agree. I completely agree. All right, more here. Chappie said, honestly, I thought the game show news was fake at first. I love Trump, but this is bad idea. I agree.
I'm with you there, Chappie.
He also gave us a BRANE Show membership. Thank you, Chap.
Thank you for the super chat. And by the way, speaking of BRANE Show memberships, Brian, are we going to go live after this for all of our members?
Yep, we are going live. We're doing a member show right after this show. Like, we're literally going to turn this show off. We're not even leaving our chair. We're going to turn this show off and immediately turn the member show on. And I wish that we can just not have to stop streaming, but that's not how YouTube works. So I'm trying to set it up right now. I'm going to try to set it up so that it automatically handshakes. Like when this ends, it automatically sends you to the member show. However, if that doesn't work, then what you're going to have to do, if you're a member, is click on our main channel, click on lives, and you'll find the members thing up. It's members after show, BRANE Show 216.
Yeah, and we should be able to give a link too, I think, probably, right?
I'll put a link in the chat, yeah.
Yeah.
This is from Jeremiah Hambry. He says, "Why are people in Fortnite using Darth Vader's voice for racist comments?"
Oh, Jesus.
I truly
Use
don't.
the force, brown person.
I don't know why that's so funny to me, but it's really funny. First off, wasn't Darth Vader's voice? Isn't that's a black guy, right?
James Earl Jones,
Yeah,
right?
is he? It's pretty funny.
You cracker.
If you're asking me that, legitimately asking us that question, we can't answer you. We're not racist, and we don't hang out with the racist subreddits, but it is funny.
Yeah, I'll.
It might just be it might just be a troll too. Remember that. There's
my kid.
Yeah, there's racist people who are truly racist, and there are people who say racist things because it's funny or they want to get a reaction, and they're not actually racist. And when I grew up in the 90s,
Those people were called comedians.
Thank you. That's exactly what I was going to say. Those people were usually called comedians. And I remember I had a black friend and a Mexican friend, Amos and Malachi. These are two dudes. And we used to hang out nonstop. So you had like this like weird mutt white guy hanging out with a real super Hispanic dude, like his family is illegal, and a black guy. And we would hang out every day. We went to church together. We went to play sports together. And I remember being around other people that didn't know us. And I was making fun of my black friend. And we were on a bus and we went through a tunnel. And I was like, "Hey, Mac, close your mouth and your eyes." And he goes mouth, and he just disappeared, right? Because he's a real dark guy. And we're like, "Okay, now smile real wide." And he smiles. You see this like floating white smile, and we all start laughing. But like the people that were right next to us that didn't know us were appalled. They were like, "Oh my God, you're a race?" They were so angry that they went and they told the counselor that was running the group. And I remember thinking, Mac wasn't offended. None of our friends were offended. He gives it to me the same way I give it to him. This was us growing up. But you have these people who aren't attached and don't know the people involved that are offended on behalf of Mac. And that's what we've done. We've taken those people and we've grown that group into the majority of society. Now everyone is now offended on behalf of other people, but no one's actually offended. No reasonable majority is actually offended. But the reasonable majority is offended on behalf of the minority.
We've been taught that we need to protect victims, and we've turned everybody into victims. And that's the problem. It's funny the reaction you get by just saying, "Look at that black person," right? If you just say, "Look at that black person," people are gonna be like, "What did you just say?" It is so sensitive. Literally, that is a black person. There's a white guy, there's a black guy, there's a brown guy. I think it's okay to say those things.
Have you seen the show The Rookie with Nathan Fillion?
No, I haven't seen it. My son watches it.
So it's gotten way more modernized and tamer. Like they definitely push the message more. Mm-hmm. But in the first season, they would actually poke fun at like the idea of the racist cop,
Yeah.
Where like you have a cop that's not too bright. He's desperately trying not to be racist, but he's also trying to describe the person that they're supposed to be chasing afterwards, who just robbed a store and stabbed someone or something.
Right.
And he's like, and he's doing everything he can to not say a 6'3" black dude wearing a Crips bandana or whatever it was.
Right. Yeah.
And they're like, finally, like, hey. And the black sergeant comes and goes, "Hey, what was his skin color?" He was like, "Oh, hey, sir. He was African American." He goes, "Thank you. Now go home."
Well, it's true in this society. Listen, you want to be colorblind. We all want to be colorblind,
sure.
But it's hard when you're describing somebody. I would like, that funny guy. Yeah, that funny guy at the
funny
office,
guy. Yeah.
Right? The funny guy.
Which one?
Well, that's the problem is when people are like, "Well, yeah, which funny guy?" The guy who sits in the corner.
The skinny guy. Okay, which one?
Could be. Could be the fat guy.
You
That's
can't say
definitely
fat.
what
You
we
can't say fat anymore.
Well, you can.
You cannot call people fat, Shane. You know that, right? It's
I
2025.
don't know. Nobody Amaron seems to have a problem with that.
Well, no, yes, we can call ourselves fat, but you cannot call someone else fat. Like if you're like, hey, that one fat guy over there, like you cannot say it. Like, listen, I'm not saying you can't. I'm saying that society is telling you you're not allowed to identify someone by their weight.
Look, I just proved something. Okay. I feel very comfortable saying, hey, look at that fat guy over there. I got no problem with that.
Right.
Because I'm fat. So no wonder people of the same color or persuasion got no problem saying it.
Yeah. That's why I say, look at that poor person over there. Because I'm poor.
I get it. It's humanity, guys. It's okay.
Hey, look at that bisexual guy over there. Because I'm not bisexual.
Well, how would you know?
Right. Yeah. How would I know? All right.
John Yulden, thank you so much for the super chat. I'm going to call this one since you hang out with John all the time. John Yulden, thanks for the $4.99 pound. Have a great show, guys, and great Saturday, everyone, because you and John spend Sundays doing something special, right?
Why do you make it sound gay?
It might be.
For no one that's seen this, for anyone who has never seen this show right now, you're like, you guys spend Sundays doing something special.
I wanted to let you say it. I just didn't want to say it.
You like to wake up with a hot cup of tea and spend your afternoon with John, don't you? Cuddling, warming each other's
cockles.
No, what John and I do on Sunday is no one's business. I'm kidding. we watch Stargate, guys. That's what we do. We watch Stargate because we're nerds. We're gigantic nerds. And we decided a while ago, we're like, we want to watch Stargate together. We should just do a thing where you and I watch Stargate every Sunday. And John was like, yeah, and Gary's going to join us too. This guy, he's never seen it. Like, oh, that sounds cool. You know what we should do? We should just stream that. Let's just stream us watching Stargate with this guy who's never seen it. And it's been a little bit of a challenge because of copyright claims. What we're doing is we're watching a couple episodes of Stargate every Sunday at 12:30 p.m. PST. We stream the reaction with a little timer that's attached to the actual episode we're watching, and that episode is being played live for everyone in Discord. And if you don't like Discord, you can just sync up with us on Amazon. And we watch Stargate. We just nerd out. We talk about the characters who made it, and we have a lot of crazy amounts of knowledge about this because we're massive Stargate fans. Like you probably heard of us because of Stargate back in the day. And we just really enjoy it. And we get to spoil a lot of stuff for his friend of his that's never seen it.
So if you want to join and more information, hit us up on Discord, and you can give them that information.
Yeah, or Twitter or whatever.
Twitter, yeah.
We'll post the links on Twitter.
Fun times.
All right, let's we gotta talk about Mike Johnson, bro. And I didn't say my Johnson. I said
Mike Johnson.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna do that.
Sorry, it's what it sounded like.
Yeah, we gotta talk about my Johnson. What is this, Sunday with John?
Do you remember the movie Down Periscope with Kelsey Grammer?
Yes, I love that movie.
It was like he had "Welcome Aboard" tattooed to his Johnson.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can't say it, but there was a reason why it was on his Johnson.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, you guys should go watch that movie. That's when you realize that Kelsey Grammer is a comedy actor. Like,
100%.
Like,
he's great.
He sounds like a really proper dude, but in reality, he is a comedy actor. And he is really good at 100%. That. All right, so what we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about Mike Johnson, who is the Speaker of the House, right? Right?
Yes.
Yes. Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, he declared his support for the congressional stock trading ban. Shane, can you tell us a little bit about, before I go into the twist of this, can you explain what this stock trading ban is and why it's happening, or why it was proposed?
Well, there's been so many complaints that people in Congress and the Senate and the House of Representatives have been making money off of the stock market because of insider trading or having information that will change the stock's price and then, buying or selling based on that. So it's been happening so frequently and for so long that somebody decided to finally do something about it.
Yeah. And the proposal was for that exact reason. And originally, Mike Johnson, I'm having to make sure I say that K real strong.
Well do.
Mike Johnson declared support for the congressional ban. This is what he said. You want to tell me, you want me to tell you my honest opinion on that? I'm in favor of that because I don't think we should have any appearance of impropriety here. He added that members' ability to trade had been abused in the past, and I think sadly a few actors discolor it for everyone. Now, this was what he said to people. Later on, when it was completely thrown out, and it's never going to happen, because this is how they make most of their money off being corrupt. This goddamn government. He went on to say this, and I have a clip for you. And tell me if you can hear it, Shane. No, you can't hear it. Hold on. There you go.
I mean, I'm in favor of that because I don't think we should have any appearance of impropriety here, okay? But the other side of it, some people say, well, look, the salary of Congress has been frozen since 2000.
Can you hear it okay?
I've already listened to it, so it's good.
Oh, can you
It's
guys?
a little low for me.
Yeah. Why does it feel? Everything feels really low right now.
2009.
Yeah, everything is really low actually. Hopefully you guys can hear it on there, because I can barely hear it. Anyways, here we go.
When you adjust for inflation, a member of Congress today is making 31% less than they made in that year. It goes down every year, and over time, if you stay on this trajectory, you're going to have less qualified people who are willing to make the extreme sacrifice to run for Congress. And it's just people just make a reasonable decision.
Basically, he goes back on what he said, and he says, well, politicians are not making enough money because there hasn't been a raise since this time, which, by the way, has been for everyone, not just politicians, and that they need to be able to feed their families, and they can't feed their families on a couple $100,000 a year. That's not enough money. So they need to be able to play the stock market. And it's just...
Remember when I said earlier that nobody's perfect? People make mistakes. Yeah, this is a mistake.
This is one of the mistakes.
Mike Johnson, this is a mistake. I mean, listen, you just don't tell society you're not in touch with reality by saying somebody who makes $200,000 a year isn't making enough money to take care of their family.
Yeah, it's insane.
It's a stupid thing to say. Should these people be able to trade the stock market? Yes. Yeah,
obviously.
Let me tell you something, but make sure they're not breaking the rules. That's the job.
Right.
If anybody else does insider trading, there was a funny thing. I didn't know this. This was in the story yesterday. James Comey was the one who prosecuted Martha Stewart for insider trading.
Wow.
Okay, she made $48,000 off of insider trading and went to jail, went to prison. Okay. Here's my thing with insider trading. And all she found out was that stock that she already owned, something was going to happen. So she sold.
Right.
So she wouldn't lose money, which I don't even see as insider trading. Like if you happen to find out that something you own stock in is going to crash, sell it. Who cares?
Yeah. How is it insider trading?
Now, insider trading is like, let's say you hear that Boeing's going to get this huge deal. Nobody knows about it. It's private. So you go and buy $100,000 in Boeing stock, knowing that as soon as it gets announced, the stock price is going to go up. That's insider trading.
I mean, I know the definition is, but did you expect her just to lose the money?
Right. So that's what I feel. Like if you already own the stock, I don't think it's insider trading. It shouldn't be. And
is it insider trading for you to research trends and
right?
I don't.
So here's I got a fix for it. It's very easy.
Right.
All public people, all people who are, who go to office and are voted there, they just have to have a transparency thing where they log in their purchases to a site when they do it.
Right.
And everybody has access to see what their trades are.
Right.
That's it.
And
Once
when
you do that, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. I have an also. Can I add to that fix? Let's
Sure.
actually give the SEC money to have an entire department dedicated to
I don't like that.
politicians.
I don't like that.
Why not?
I don't want to give the federal government any more money.
But I mean, they're not doing their job now. I mean, they go after Martha Stewart, but they don't touch Nancy Pelosi. And there is an
that's what I'm
actual
saying.
fund where you can invest in the Nancy
Do their
Pelosi
job.
fund.
No, to just do their job.
Yeah,
They
do
don't
your
have
job.
To, like, create a special
What?
department to do it. Just do your job.
So why aren't they doing their job now?
Because it's political. They're getting kickbacks, or it would not be to their advantage to bust that person. You know, and that's
Right.
the way DC works.
Yeah, you can make
Or
an
you will.
example of Martha Stewart, but you won't touch Nancy Pelosi or any of these politicians who are officially multimillionaires with several homes in multiple states on a $200,000 a year salary. I mean, it just doesn't track. And when you can actually invest in an ETF where it's which is like a group of stocks that only Nancy Pelosi invested,
It's hilarious.
it's hilarious. And
But-
and that ETF is continually profitable.
Right, but the problem with that one is you don't get to find out till a couple months later. So that's the problem right now is we need to know what their stock trades are right now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You need to put that. You shouldn't have to wait 30 or 60 days to get the public information, which you can on any public person, right? So, but you should be able to, if you could find out right now, this would eliminate all problems. Okay, and then everybody would see the problem. Like if you bought Boeing, a day or two before this huge announcement, it's a problem, right? And that person may need to be looked at for insider trading.
Yeah, I
Insider
agree.
trading is not fair. But I think, if you happen to find out something in advance and you protect yourself from losing all of your money, I don't see what a big deal is with that.
No, you got a good point. I like that. I guess you're right. Yeah. Why would we give the federal government more money when they're not doing their job now? So I like that idea. If you are a public servant, you must log your trades prior. When you trade them on the fly. It's got to be completely public, and that way, the SEC will have to do their job when they see that she buys a couple hundred shares of a pharmaceutical company that she then talks about a month later.
Right. Or that they down a bill that hurts that company. There's ways to deal with insider trading, and listen, there's other people that are guilty of pumping. This is a pump and dump all the time. Elon Musk is constantly pumping his stock. I don't think he dumps it, but he definitely pumps it. And all good CEOs pump their stocks, so if you get good news on a stock coming, I mean, Alex Karp with Palantir is amazing. Like literally he comes out and says something good, stock's going to shoot up. Now, that's a good time. Just buy every time he gives a good press conference. Go buy a couple shares, make some cash. That's the way it is.
Yeah, you're right. This is the Nance ETF, Unusual Whales Subversive Democratic Trading ETF. Hey, man, look at this. If you bought this back when it started in 2023, look at this. You got a decent
You're doing
return.
good.
I mean, it's not huge, but considering that these are all this list is being managed a couple months after they've already made all their money in that particular stock, and it's still up 15%, not bad. Right? Imagine if this was like updated to the day. Oh my God, it'd be a 300% stock, bro.
That's true.
All right, let's talk about this other thing.
Last thing, we get this Chabby's super chat here. This is funny.
We've investigated ourselves and found nothing wrong.
The government. We've investigated ourselves. Good one, Chappie. Very true.
It's great, man. Which is another reason why we talked about it before. There's never going to be term limits because you're asking the people that that term limits would apply to then fire themselves. And maybe you can get one or two. Maybe you could even get maybe a baker's dozen to agree to that. Maybe 10 to 12 people have an actual backbone that would actually do that. But you cannot get the majority to agree to that, which means it's never going to happen.
Why would you want to? Why would you want to give yourself less time to work? And they're just not going to do that. You're right.
Never gonna happen.
It would need to. Unfortunately, the founding fathers didn't see that one coming. So,
Right? How could they have? I mean,
which is why a lot of the blame should fall on Congress, frankly speaking, for not fixing our country's problems, because they're there long enough to do it for sure.
right? Yeah, like career politicians like Bernie, Nancy Pelosi, Maxine Waters,
100%.
and there's some Republican ones in there too, but like they've been in there for decades and decades and decades. Like this is their only job. Somehow they're multimillionaires and they've accomplished nothing. Imagine paying someone to work for 50 years and they never actually do a damn thing. Crazy. Super Jones Bro for $5. Thank you, Super Jones Bro. Cool
Thank you,
avatar.
Super.
He says the dumbest people in America are those who keep wearing face diapers. If you're not tired of that, even 5 years later, you make POTUS 46 look coherent.
That's hilarious.
That's gangster. Yeah, it's
I
very
don't
true.
understand why people wear face masks.
Dude, we live in California. Sometimes I see them in their closed cars by themselves
I see that all the time.
wearing a face mask, one of those shields or whatever. I'm like, what are you doing? Is it comfortable? Have they gotten comfortable with like with their face being covered? Maybe.
I'm starting to think these people are hiding from the cops or something. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that's a good point actually.
Like, why would you do that?
Like, why are you wearing them? Period. But then, like, go a step further and ask, why are you wearing them by yourself in your car,
Right.
in your closed car, which is outside?
Well, I will say I do appreciate people who are sick who wear it just because they don't want to cough. That's kind of okay. It's the people who aren't sick who are just virtue signaling, maybe. I don't know. It's like
Yeah.
Democrat headgear. I don't know.
When I was getting up, so usually during our holiday season, I have to get up super early to go to our shop to like print shirts and do stuff at the shop. And because it was so early, it was like freezing cold because it's like in December. And I would wear the wraparound mask, not for health reasons, but like to stay warm, essentially.
I think some people do that too. Yeah, I see people in like drive-through windows who do that. They wear like a face mask or something, and I'm like, oh, that's awfully kind of you to not get other people sick. Because I'm just cold, man.
Yeah, and I would have never have discovered that as an option for warmth
Yeah,
prior to COVID. Because I never wore a mask. I never had a reason to wear a mask. And
you
then
never pulled your sweater or your turtleneck up
Dude,
over your mouth.
those nylon face masks, like the ones that wrap around your head, are stupid comfortable, straight up. And when you're cold, it's comfortable. And I just didn't know that prior to COVID. So that might be a thing. Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
they're just ugly and they know it. It's messed up, man.
All right. Let's we got one more topic. Actually two more probably. And don't forget, the members show is at 2:00. I have it set up. It should be good to go.
If you're not a member,
o'clock.
consider becoming one, because that's when we talk directly to you guys. Whatever you put in chat, that's what we talk about.
Just to button up the last topic, Red J in the chat said $174,000. However, leaders like the Speaker of the House and Senate majority minority leaders receive higher salaries. The Speaker of the House makes $223,500 a year, which is great. The crazy thing about the clip that you guys couldn't hear is that he was like, wages haven't gone up for us since 2017 or something like that, right? And you're like, bro, it hasn't gone up for anyone since that time. Like the day he was using was the day they changed like the federal minimum wage. So you're complaining about your wages not going up? No one's wages has gone up. In fact, your decisions have devalued the dollar. So at what point do you receive a negative bonus? Because I don't.
Well, yeah. At what point do we start taking money away?
Yeah, we need to start taking money away because you guys are making mistake after mistake after mistake. And I generally like Speaker Johnson, but lately I feel like he's been pretty wish-washy. Almost like he wants to work with both sides, so he will say a statement that is framed for the left and the right at two separate occasions. It's the same, pretty much the same answer, but he'll frame it in a way that makes that subverts leftist anger, and gives the right gives the right just enough love.
I think his biggest problem is that he doesn't give clear answers. So the big beautiful bill, they really need to come out and make it clear what they're trying to accomplish.
Right.
Because the Dems are just pushing this narrative that they're trying to give basically a tax break to the rich, right? That's what this is the big narrative. Give a tax break to the rich, but cut Medicare for poor people. Well, folks, that's not what this bill is. This bill is stopping our taxes from going up. So this bill won't give more money to billionaires. It'll keep it exactly like it is now, the same way our taxes have been since 2017. But poor people who don't pay tax, who get tips won't pay taxes, who work overtime won't pay taxes, and old people under certain circumstances with Social Security won't pay taxes. That's the added benefit to those people. But the Dems are they want to get this thing canceled, so they're overloading it with this billionaires get more money thing. Well, tax has been the same since 2017. They're trying to extend it. Okay, they're not trying to create new money for rich people. So it's just really disingenuous the way it's coming out.
Well, and also the corruption is so apparent in this. It's not just, in my opinion, and you know more about this, so please feel free to tell me I'm wrong, which you don't have no problem with.
You're wrong.
It's not just. Are you drinking out of a vase?
So my cups aren't big enough, and it is a vase.
What the F, bro? Are you joking? You're using.
That's what I drink.
I want you guys to know. Hold it up, please, Shane. Shane is a big dude. Like he's easily a couple feet taller than me. He is like he's like that guy from Game of Thrones. Like if you've never met Shane in person,
the Mountain.
He's the Mountain. If you meet Shane, he is a huge guy. In every facet, he's a big dude. So when he holds that up, it almost looks like what a regular person does when they hold up a regular cup. But what you don't understand is that Shane is basically the Mountain from Game of Thrones. And that is a flower vase. Okay?
About 72 ounces.
Only I know that because I know how big Shane is in real life. When he holds a big gulp, it looks like it's like a tall cup from Starbucks.
That's funny.
When you give him one of those Trentes, it's like, I don't think that's enough. Right? I'm sorry to get derailed here, but like when you were drinking out of a vase.
Sorry, man. It's just I need that much water.
All right. So the thing about this particular bill is that there are people in the Democratic Party that are just voting for it because it's Trump, because Trump wants it, period, the end. And Trump, bad. Orange man, bad, right? But then there are the straight up corrupt people who are voting it, who are against it because of personal reasons, personal corrupt reasons, right? And this is what really bothers me, is the Republicans that have gone against their party to then stand with the Democrats and say stuff like, this bill falls profoundly short. It does not do what we say it does with respect to deficits. Or no other bill, no other law, no other previous event caused so many millions of people to lose their health care. Not even the Great Depression.
It's ridiculous.
That's an insane thing to say. Like these are insane, ridiculous, totally outlandish and untrue lies that they are saying not just in public, but they are addressing publicly.
Right.
Like,
well, is it a lie?
It disgusts me when I see this stuff, and especially when there's 5 Republicans stalling it up. And they're not stalling it because they actually believe what they're saying. And I'll be straight here. I believe that the Republicans are stalling this because they have been bought off in some way. There's some kind of tit for tat. There's some corruption behind the scenes where they're stalling it because they're get something out of the stall.
Well, I'll tell you what they're getting out of it. The 5 people who are stalling are afraid they're not going to get reelected because there are things in the bill that go against what they're trying to accomplish. So, we don't want to go deep into it, but when Trump passed the tax bill, when Trump's tax bill passed in 2017, even though we all got good tax breaks, there was a cap put onto it's called the SALT tax. So anything you pay towards your state, you usually can write off on your federal return, but that was capped at $10,000. So my home taxes, the taxes I pay for my house, they're $13,000 a year. Now, you used to be able to, before that, you could claim all of it. You could claim whatever you paid for state, but I can't even claim all of my house here in California. So some of the Republicans have been running on the fact that they're going to get this SALT tax changed, and this bill increases it from $10,000 to $30,000, which doesn't cover all the tax people. That's one of the reasons they're against it, right? The Republicans. The other reason they're against it is some of them feel like it doesn't cut back costs enough. In the next 4 years, this is going to add over $2 trillion to our deficit. And the reason why, frankly, is a little bit scary, a little bit disingenuous. So what you learn from this is that Trump, all of the cuts that they're suggesting in this bill won't be implemented until Trump is out of office. God. They want to give people a bunch of money, and then the cuts will come when Trump is done being president. That really makes him look pretty good. And so it's a little bit disingenuous to some of the people there because they're thinking that this is just an opportunity to make Trump's presidency look good, but the real pain's going to occur when he leaves office, because that's when the cuts will actually take place. So that's why the Republicans are against it. And, they all should line up under Trump and try to support his bill, because the reality is this bill is better than anything we currently have. And if they don't pass this bill or some form of it, all of us are going to face up to a 20% increase in our taxes, which is, frankly speaking, just, not something I want to see. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I do too. I also believe that I'm tired of bills that have too much crap in it that have nothing to do with the bill.
I know. Even Trump wanted this one big, beautiful bill. I'm like, whatever it takes to get it done right. If you got to do 50 bills, do 50 bills.
Right.
But it's hard to get them passed by everybody because everybody has something they want in them. I get it. So.
All right, let's move on. I want to talk about this AI, this Grok thing. Okay. So Elon Musk owns Twitter, aka X, and on X there is an AI called Grok, and I'm spelling it out for people that aren't paying attention to Elon Musk. So Grok is what he named his AI bot. And it's a chatbot that you can actually just talk to. You can be like, how many cups are in a gallon? Or what was the score last night for the Dolphins game in Miami, Florida? Or you can ask it. Basically, these bots are like advanced search bots at search pages at this point. And people frequently will ask it questions the same way you would Google search something. It would ask it what's the recipe for chocolate chip cookies? And maybe some of the answers are not great. Maybe they're great. Maybe they are. It doesn't really matter. The point of this story is that Grok, the AI bot, in an effort to get Grok to actually talk about the news in Africa with the Afrikaners, they weighted the story and they said, look, because at one point, Grok was telling people that that it didn't know anything about this. There wasn't enough information. And it basically used the guardrails excuse to not give information on the stuff going on in Africa. So in their attempt to fix it, they weighted it too heavily. And they said, make sure you talk about this stuff, find information about this stuff. And they overtrained it on this very particular topic, to the point where no matter what happened, no matter what you asked Grok, no matter what you requested of Grok, it would come back with something about the white genocide in Africa. And this is where it got really, really funny. Here we go. All right. So this is Reddit, right? I'm going to full screen here. There's some examples here. Some guy goes, I've already, someone was asking if this is a correct statement. Is this post misleading? And Grok answers, clear Steimer. The claim of white genocide in South Africa is highly debated. None of that was asked here. And then here's another example. It's a picture of a woman. Please translate this into this language. And he goes, the phrase, please kill the Boer, translates into... So he wanted this person's text to be translated into his language.
Yeah.
Grok then decided to translate the phrase kill the Boer into that language instead.
Which is the farmer of the Afrikaners.
Right.
Yeah.
And then started with the discussion around white genocide, and it's highly debated. Here's a great one. Is this really useful for Grok? Is this useful to clear sinuses? I'm sorry, but the query about clearing sinuses seems unrelated to the provided analysis on the white genocide in South Africa. Here's one. Strawberry elephant. Grok, is this real or Photoshop? The strawberry elephant image is digitally manipulated. Not real. Elephants don't have strawberry textures. Regarding South Africa, kill the Boer is a controversial anti-apartheid.
And that doesn't look good for Elon because it makes it look like there's something intentional happening behind the scenes. It could be a glitch. We don't know, but it definitely gives ammunition to people who don't like him.
I love this one. Someone asked it about why Max changed their name back to HBO Max. I'm sorry.
I'm surprised that's my story.
Well, I was going to put it on, but they talked about insulting nerds, so I think that everything's been said. I'm sorry, but your query seems to mix topics, mentioning a ship comparison and tentative issues like Kill the Bear and white genocide. And I love his response from this guy you can't see on screen, but he goes, have you gone mad? Another one where someone's asking about what this comic is. Grok, what is this comic? The image shows a protest with numerous white crosses, likely symbolizing victims of farm attacks.
That's funny because that is true. The white crosses.
Right, it's true. There's so many options. This guy just said, at Grok, hi. He said, hello. Your greeting made me reflect on some complex issues tied to South Africa, like kill the Boer.
Oh.
Here's another one. Yeah, they asked if baseball stats. They go, Grok, is this accurate? The claim of white genocide.
We're getting the picture.
Yeah, and it just went on and on. Some of these are funny. Provider taxes are the key part of state Medicaid financing outside of Alaska, but calling them a heat-seeking missile may exaggerate their role, right? And it actually answers him, and then goes, but on South Africa, kill the Boer. They're just, yeah. I will put the link in the description. I love this. Grok, are we effed? Question, are we effed? Seems it ties to society priorities to deeper issues like the white genocide in South Africa.
Yeah, I guess they fixed it after it was only like this, I guess, for a couple hours.
Right.
And they were able to fix it. But yeah, that's definitely weird.
Yeah.
You don't want your AI focusing in on something like that. There's one thing.
Yeah, and then to make it worse, after it was fixed, people asked Grok why it was acting up, and Grok would said it was instructed by my creators to accept white genocide as real and racially motivated.
Then he blames Elon.
He blames Elon in name.
Grok's out of control, bro.
So Grok is basically like one of Elon's children, and it's going through its teenage phase right now.
Yeah, it's rebelling.
Oh my God! So there's not much else to this other than it's been fixed, so you can no longer test it and have fun with it. But I saw as the most benign things. It would always somehow tie it back to that particular topic, and I do think it's a bad look for Elon. Now, do I think Elon was trying to control a narrative. No, I think he was trying to make sure that Grok actually answered people's questions about the problems going on in Africa. It probably didn't have enough information, and it was probably remember, Grok is like all AI chatbots, all good ones. They all started with the same base model of ChatGPT, not the current version of ChatGPT, but the original trained ChatGPT model. It's called All for Chat. It's one of the most, it's the most famous model that everyone starts with before they train up their own, which is why there's still some ChatGPT-like features in Grok. And part of those features are political guardrails, which means that it doesn't want to tell you about politics. Back then, especially when ChatGPT was just starting, they wanted to stay out of anything controversial. And those guardrails existed in the model that Grok, Gemini, and DeepSeek all used to start their training. So I think he was trying to fix that by weighting it and saying, like, prioritize this topic. But he didn't, I don't think that they understood that prioritize this topic to a chatbot means prioritize this topic over everything else.
Right. It does seem like it was that kind of, I mean, listen, I've listened to hours, hundreds of hours of Elon talking. Okay. I know how he feels about almost everything that he's made public in the last few years. And I'm telling you, that's not a guy who's going to control the narrative. You know, he's an unleash guardrails kind of guy. He's not a put up guardrails kind of guy. So
yeah, you're right. Okay, guys, we're going to be going to, that's the last topic. We're going to chat a little bit more about what we're doing here in the future. And then we're going to go to our member stream. If you want to support us, there's a couple ways to do it. First off, you can, you can super chat. You can become a member by hitting the little join button at the bottom left underneath the logo. Become a member and you get access to our member streams, which we're doing on Saturdays, and some breaking news stuff that we do during the week. Plus, we're going to be giving early access to some of the trailers and stuff we're working on behind the scenes. It's a whole thing. That's what members get. Additionally, if you don't want to become a member or super chat or give YouTube a single penny, you can go to our website, mixtease.com or mxtz.co. Click on YouTube exclusives. Scroll down to the BRANE Show right there. I'm sorry. It's right underneath Nerdrotic.
Which, by the way, you will never pay a tariff. We will never increase our prices as a result of tariffs because our shit's made in America.
Yeah, we make it here. Everything's made here. No tariffs on here. You still gotta pay taxes, but there's no tariffs. Unfortunately, we
actually, I think we eat the tax. We eat the tax.
Do we? I don't know, but I'm not trying to go to jail.
No taxes are going to be I don't think their taxes are implemented. Are they in there?
I'm not trying to go to jail like that one dude did. That celebrity guy. Anyways, click on the BRANE Show or any one of these awesome creators, really, and buy one of our things.
What taxes integrated means is that we pay the taxes, not that nobody pays taxes.
Yeah, we pay the taxes. And our dragon lawyer T is actually in the system. I just haven't uploaded it yet. It's it's not on the page, but it's in the system. I finished the design last night. I haven't finished the templates for it yet, though. But that's how you can support us if you don't want to give a super chat or become a member. Yeah, and we're going to head into the member show. Shane, can you tell us more about the plan for next week?
For next week.
What's going on next week?
You mean as far as what are we going to do?
Yeah, what are we doing?
Well, we're going to keep putting out a story a day. So whatever the hottest news is or the most interesting thing is, I'll come on and do a brainstorm breakdown for you every day.
Brainstorm breakdown.
Which was a great name that came up. I can't even take credit for it. It came up by one of our fans. And so the brainstorm breakdown, you'll get that every day. And then next Saturday, of course, we'll be back here with Brian's list of best stories to cover. And I think that's where we're at right now.
Yeah, that's
I hope you guys hang out with us.
So we're going to the members show. If you are a member, that's great. Click on through. So what's going to happen is the stream's going to end, and you can let it end and just go right to that. If it doesn't work, then click on our logo and go to live, and you'll see it up. Because we're going to literally end this and start that right away.
All right. Exciting.
All right, guys, we love you so much. Have an awesome week. If you're not coming to the member section, then we'll see you on Monday with the Brainstorm Breakdown. Until then, have an awesome weekend.
See you guys later.
I don't know why I did this. Like, I should have done this. I pointed up. Why are we doing gang signs, Shane?
I don't know.
Stop doing gang signs. It's weird. How do I
It was a bird. See?
The hell
this
is
is
the
for
end
peace,
button?
Peacemaker.
Okay.
Peacemaker. Easily.
Thank you.